What is going on, all of you wonderful people? I just got out of a leg day workout. So today was a pretty good leg day. It was a good leg day. Me and my wife hit it this afternoon, and then me and a good friend of mine hit it this morning. So 2 workouts in one day. I'm doing those 2 a day. You know, I did 75 hard about a year ago. I did it. So about March time frame, I did 75 hard, and that requires you to work out twice a day, and I just got in that rhythm, and I just haven't stopped. It's a good habit to get into, to get up in the morning and work out. I think it's it's the best start to my day, honestly. It's probably one of the key factors of like, hey, I have to do this. I have to get up and work out in the morning, because it is what kind of gets me started and gets me going. But today, I talked a little bit this morning about kind of something that's it's a good topic. You know, we hear a lot about, you know, we ask a lot we ask to be blessed, and we ask for God to bless us. But do we ask to not only to be blessed, but to use that blessing to bless other people? Because honestly, that's what it's intended for. It is intended to bless us, to bless other people. And you know, that kind of hit me, especially when it comes to, you know, knowledge. We think that blessings are just financial, and we think that blessings are just, you know, God blessing us with $1,000 or God blessing us with $20. I mean, it does not. Blessings are not just finances, but they could be knowledge. They could be a job opportunity. They could be, you know, an acceptance into a program. I mean, it could literally be anything. But then the question turns into, how am I going to use this blessing to bless other people? And I truly feel like that's what the purpose of the blessing is God trusts you and I to take the blessing that he gives us and to bless other people. You know, I love to talk about the military and my military experience, and you know, kind of what all of that experience did to me. I mean, I went on a 9.5 month deployment over into the Mediterranean Sea aboard the USS Harry S. Truman. And during that time, right before deployment, I remember going to the ship. I remember walking down the pier, which is where the ship is docked at. And I remember looking at the ship the night before we were supposed to be on board for the last, or walk on board for the last time before deployment, because we weren't going to be coming back off the ship. And I remember just telling myself, I'm going to step back on this pier. Well, at the time I thought it was going to be 6 months, but it turned out to be 9.5. I'm going to step back on this pier 9.5 months later, a different man. I'm going to step back onto the United States soil, a different man. I'm going to allow deployment to change me into who God needs me to be. I mean, who he needs me to be to fulfill his purpose. And I started the deployment like that. I started out saying, I do not want to come back the same person. I want to change. I'm going to use this opportunity to really develop who I am. A lot of people say that they go on their hike, that, you know, I'm sure you've read books or just listen to people, and they go on that week-long hiking trip, or they go out into the woods and camp out and kind of find themselves. Well, I say deployment was that for me. Like, it was my finding myself opportunity. And I worked with a lot of really, really good people. And one guy in particular, he took me under his wing and mentored me and showed me what, I can sit here and say he showed me how to be a really good businessman and a good leader, but he also taught me how to be a good man and a good man of God. I mean, that he really helped to show me how, because not only did he tell me, but he showed me. He I watched how this man interacted with other people and how he handled situations, and that's what stuck more than just somebody, telling me something. I watched firsthand him handle situations, and then the outcomes were just, it was a direct result of how he handled the situation. But it showed me how to be a good man. And we worked together for probably about 7 months of the 9.5 month deployment. For the first half of it, he wasn't in there. But, I asked him later on down the road, I said, man, why did you decide to mentor me? Like, what made you say, I'm going to help that guy out? And the response that I got was, you wanted it. Like, you wanted to change. Nobody else wanted to change. He said, you wanted to change, and I saw that, and you had goals. He said, you had goals that I took those goals, and I looked at them, and I said, the man that you are now is not going to get to those goals. So I need to help you to turn you into the person that can achieve goals like that. And that really stuck with me. It really kind of resonated with me, because I was very, before deployment, I lacked a lot of self-confidence. I lacked positivity. Big thing that I lacked positivity. I was a very negative person, and I used to walk around very angry looking. I used to, act like I didn't want anybody to talk to me, if that makes sense. Like, I would walk around with the mad face, and that just, to get to my goals that I had, that wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to get me where I needed to be. And he saw that, and he said, hey, I'm going to help you out, and I'm going to show you what needs to happen if you want to achieve those goals that you have. And like I said, for him to pass on the knowledge that he had once gotten. Everything that he taught me was from experience that he had. This wasn't just something that he read in a book. This was something that he lived. He lived and did. I watched him do it. Like, a lot of these concepts and not concepts, but a lot of these things that he taught me, I watched. Like I said, it was something that I experienced and watched happen in real life. And that is what really made it stick, and that's what really helped me to see the value in that lesson, was because I watched it happen. And so sharing the knowledge with me has now in turn taught me how to be that way, and so now I'm able to use that blessing that he has blessed me with, and now I'm looking to bless other people. And so, honestly, that's all what it boils down to is, I pray daily for wisdom. And I thank him for the wisdom that I already have, but I pray daily for wisdom, because, wisdom is one of those things that you can never get enough of. Like, you can never get enough wisdom. You can never achieve full wisdom, and you're never gonna get to a point where you stop learning. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, it is a choice to always stay in a learning state of mind, and that's what I pray for, is to stay in a learning state of mind and a hungry for wisdom state of mind. But I'm doing that so that I can help other people, and I can teach other people how to think, whether it's about lifestyle, whether it's about how to handle situations, whether it's about your marriage and how to be a good husband, how to be a good father. I'm continuously praying for this wisdom to be able to help people. And so that's honestly, and I've even learned a lot about, little, like fitness. Fitness, of course, has been a huge part of my life, and I've done fitness since back in. I played football for 14 years back in, when I was younger. Played football a long time. My dad got me into the gym when I was about 12. I think that's the age limit where you can actually get out of the kids club and come and get on the floor and work out. And so I started working out with him when I was 12, but I never really took it very seriously until probably right before I was going into the military was when I decided that I really wanted to take fitness seriously. And that was not, off of my own, well, it was off my own accord, but it wasn't just an idea that I had that I was just like, oh, I'm going to all of a sudden start getting really big into fitness. No, I actually was rejected by multiple branches of the military because I was too big. I was too big to join that branch of the military. And that wasn't a fun conversation. That was not a fun conversation because I didn't, I felt a lot of anger towards myself, like how could I let myself get to that point? And the next thing that I did was how can I get out of that? How can I make sure that if there's ever anything that I want to do, I have the capability to do it, and my weight is not going to hold me back. And so that was kind of where my fitness journey started, and I started to eat better. I started to really dive into learning about my body and how I needed to eat, because, believe it or not, I'm a firm believer in you are different than every other person on this planet. And you have to learn how you can diet and learn how you can actually lose weight. Because I can give you a great plan, but if one, you don't buy into it, and two, you don't really know how your body, you don't know how. Basically, what I'm looking to say and express is, you really honestly have to figure out your strategy on. This will be easier. Let me give you an example. I am a snacker. I love to snack. I am a bored eater. If I am sitting on the couch, or if I am just standing around or not doing anything, I will eat. I will eat something. I will go to the pantry and get something to eat because I am a bored eater. What I have recently learned, and now, like I said, I've been in fitness a while, and I've just recently learned this about myself. If I eat more frequently and in smaller portions, I will not feel full all the time, but I will be satisfied and not feel that craving to have to eat because I'm hungry. And when I do get bored, I find something else to do instead of the first thought being, oh, I'm hungry, let me go eat something or snack on something. But that's just kind of an example of like me learning about my strategy and learning about my body and saying, okay, this is what helped me to do that. And what helped me to eat better and to maintain eating what I needed to eat to stay in a diet. I had to kind of split that up into multiple meals throughout the day at a very small portion to be able to kind of mitigate what I was eating and regulate what I was eating. Because if not, I did the whole fasting thing, and I would hold off eating until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and a lot of people would say that's really bad for you, but I did that for a little while, and honestly, it got me to a point to where at 4 o'clock came, and I was so hungry that it did not matter what it was, I was eating it. Like, I was eating everything, even if it was bad for me, I didn't care. I was going to eat anything and everything that I could get, and that was not following my diet. I was eating really bad and I was eating a lot of food very quickly, because I can eat a lot of food very quickly because I eat fast. And especially if I'm really hungry because I've been fasting all day, it did not work for me. It was not a good fit for me. But I'm telling you, this regiment of splitting up my meals throughout the day has really been good for being able to control my bored eating. But all of that to say, I'm continually learning about fitness to be able to help other people, and to also, just kind of continue in that, like I said, that learning state of mind, because that's if somebody comes up to me and asks me a question about, hey, how do I get physically fit, or how do I regulate a diet, or hey, how do I turn my lifestyle around, and you may be wondering, how am I tying all of this into my spirituality? Well, honestly, I'm sure you guys have heard of mind, body, and spirit. Well, when you connect all three of those together and you work on all three of those things, your mind, you're learning, you're gaining knowledge, you're reading books, your spirit, whenever you're learning about the word, you're getting involved in men's group, community groups, you're getting involved in a community or a ministry, and you're going to church, you're working on your spirit and your body. Whenever you're going and actually staying physically fit, your body is a temple for the Holy Ghost. It is where the Holy Ghost lives, inside of you. And again, to me, I saw it as I have to be ready to do whatever God calls me to do. I need to be ready. He called me to go into the military, and I was not ready. I was not physically ready to go into the military because I did not take care of my body. And so, all of that is to, a part of this journey, like I said, is He has blessed me with the knowledge and the wisdom to then in turn now help other people, and to really kind of pour into other people, and to really help somebody who's in need. I enjoy helping other people. It is one of the greatest joys of my life, is to watch the progression of somebody going from not being very happy and being very negative, and cussing a lot, and seeing life in a negative outlook, to then turning around and being one of the most positive people I can talk to. And every time that I speak with them, they're just overly positive, and they have this great outlook on life, and they enjoy living life. Seeing that is it's really inspiring, and honestly, you can do that. And I'm not telling you to go out and tell people you need to be more positive. It's simply, you just go out and you just live it. You just go out and you just live that life of being positive, and it's influential. It is contagious. Being positive is contagious. But that is one of the biggest things that I have learned is, whenever you're looking to pass on wisdom or knowledge or what you've learned to somebody else, the biggest factor that even I learned is you have to live it yourself. You have to do it yourself. If you don't, and you're just telling somebody, then it's not going to stick. I learned from my mentor because he lived it. He did it. It was what he lived by, and I saw that, and that's what stuck. So you have to live it. You have to live it. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in today. I'll be coming back on here tomorrow, so stay tuned.